It is September 1st and the ladder has reset. I have a budget mono white aggro list and I want to find out if it can climb out of platinum. All right, I got a budget deck for you. I have been waiting for the ladder to reset so I can try it out and see how well it can climb before I talk a little bit about the deck. Thank you to all the new subscribers. As usual, if you can continue to help me grow, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, all that good stuff, and please do comment down below. What do you think about budget decks and can they climb on the ladder in best of one? So let's look at this deck. It's not that complicated. The game plan is simple. We are putting out as many cheap, powerful creatures as we can, and we're going to try to slam in on the opponent's face. We have two ones. Two ones, two ones. That's the key here. Now, all of these 2/1s are pretty good. Cheeky House Mouse has the squeak by ability. The Descendant of the Storm does have a pay 2 mana if we're flooding out ability. And Veteran Survivor is going to be exiling things with its survival mechanic and getting a little bit bigger if we get 3 cards underneath it. Then in the 2 slot, we have 4 copies of Resolute Reinforcements. This is essentially creating 2 bodies on the field. And Honored Knight Captain, same thing, putting 2 bodies onto the field. Why do we want a big field? Well, we got a couple of cards that are going to help us when we go a little bit wide. We have 4 copies of Case of the Gateway Express. Last time I played this card, I kept calling it the Getaway Express, but it is in fact the Gateway Express. This thing is going to remove something, then when we attack in and solve the Gateway Express, it is going to give our creatures +1/+0. We're also playing 3 copies of Orin's Inspiration, a instant speed +2/+0 attacking buff to our creatures, and it also has flashback, so we can do it on the following turn. The last card that works well in the deck with having a wide board is our 3 copies of Salt Road Pack Beast. This is a 6 CMC 4/3 camel beast, but it gets a little bit cheaper for every creature we control. So if we have, let's say 5 creatures on the board, this is a 1 mana 4/3, enters the battlefield, draws us a card. The other cards in the deck are going to help us stay alive or bring things back. We're trying to Scout for Survivors, a card that I was actually pretty excited about from Edge of Eternities, but it never actually saw any play. This might help us stabilize after a board wipe. Then we have 3 copies of Requisition Raid, another buff for our wide board, and 3 copies of Seam Rip to hopefully remove some of our opponent's threats. 22 lands, and that's the deck. I don't know, is it going to work out? Let's find out how well it can do on the ladder. See you over in the games. All right, let's see how a budget deck can do on the ladder. Just woke up to a fresh season. We get to go first. We have our 2/1s, we have our removal, we have our recursion. My goodness, it looks okay. So expectations do need to be a wee bit tempered if we end up running into VV. I don't know if you've seen the latest results from the tournament that happened this past weekend, but VV everywhere. Top 8, I think it was 6 of the 8, as you would expect. Mono Red being the other competitor to VV, and then the rest of the field before the top 8 was, I think, pretty heavy with VV. But it's not a problem, right? We just got to be better Magic players and figure out a way to deal with VV making 20 mana on turn 4? Turn 5? I'm exaggerating. It's turn 5 that they can do that. Opponent thinking real hard about what they're doing over there. Maybe we get a free win. That'd be a nice way to start off things. Okay, our opponent has finally joined us. We get to play out a Descendant of the Storms and pass over to them. We'll see what we can do with the budget list against Artifacts. So if we end up running into Artifact, or I guess this is better, we'll get an extra point of damage in. If we keep running into Artifacts, or if we keep running into VV, well, the ladder's gonna be a little bit difficult, I would assume. But tempered expectations for a budget deck. It is what it is. You know what? I think I'm just gonna put the damage in as quickly as I can. It's very, very possible that they have a turn 3. Ooh, okay. I was gonna say they could have a turn 3 Star Cage, but maybe that's not the case. Unfortunately, our Cheeky House Mouse is getting exiled here, but we do have some aggression on the board. We're pumping them up. Yeah, let's pay for both. And we'll put the +1/+1 counters. We'll get the damage in while we can. I don't think I need to go wide. The opponent's down to 5. If they have a board wipe here, we do have the recovery with the Scout for Survivors, but they have a tap land. Oh, why? Why does the deck that's playing Wrath of God, not Wrath of God, but, oh, well, okay. Let's just do that. The deck that's playing Day of Judgment also have to play Starcage Pinnacle. Why are people the way they are? Let's hold the planes. Why not? Now, the opponent, we do have lethal on board technically if they stumble here. This deck, hoping and praying that our opponents stumble. They don't have a second Starcage. They don't have a Day of Judgment. All of these things are... Yes, okay. Get some. You're playing Starcage in your Azorius control deck. Get out of here. All right. Off to a good start. Let's do it 6 more times. Game number 1, proving that we can get in underneath the Azorius control deck as long as we go first and as long as we find our Requisition Raid, which is a pretty cool card. Unfortunately, it is sorcery speed, so we cannot do it on their turn. We do have to kind of like suffer through another turn of the opponent, hoping that they don't have a follow-up way of destroying all of our creatures, which inevitably they do. What are we doing here? I think I'm probably just loading up the board against the Kona deck, we got to assume. So we'll throw out the Veteran Survivor, nothing to exile, unfortunately. They have the Adagia. Adagia? There's no L. I want to call it Adagia. There's the Sarima, and they did find their Kona. So we are dead because we were too slow. We'll try our best. We'll put out another Honored Captain, and we'll see what their big turn 4 play is. Maybe they don't have the land for the Kona. If they stumble, it's possible if we find like Orin's Intervention here. No, because we don't have... Oh, they did stumble. Oh, they're trying to do Omniscience stuff. They find their land, though. So next turn is the turn. We can't pump everything up. There's our land. So I guess all I can really do is push as much damage as possible. Do I want to keep one of the cheeky house... So 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm going to get in for 7 damage. They're going to go down to 6. I'm just thinking, like, if they have a life-linking thing, like a giant life-linking thing, maybe I need to save the, what is it called, Squeak By, where it can't be blocked by something. Let's get rid of the Omniscience, I suppose. Doesn't really matter. They're down to 5. They're going to play out the Kona. They're going to put out something, and this is where the game goes. If it's an Omniscience, they're just going to bounce everything with their Meringue River Regents. If it's just a Meringue River Regent, though, that's not going to be too bad. So it all depends on how this ends up going. They can tap the Kona in any number of ways, and it is an Omniscience. Oh, double Omniscience. Okay, maybe they don't have... Okay, I was going to say, maybe they don't have something big, but they have the ability to draw 1 million cards, and we're not going to sit through this. So, what can you do? I'm starting to wonder now if it would be a better strategy to play a budget-style deck late in the season. I didn't call it Orin's Inspiration. I think I called it something different. It's better to play a budget-oriented deck later on the ladder in the season, because you kind of get by the people that are trying their darndest to climb. I'm kind of having a feeling that my plan may have backfired on me, and starting day 1 ladder with a budget-oriented deck is probably going to be a pretty bad idea. I wonder if I should have gone out with the... this is fine. Budget-oriented deck is going to be a bad idea because we're just going to run into people playing the top tierest of tier decks. Ooh, they discard something, though. We're going to be able to eat it with the Veteran Survivor, so if they're on a Reanimator list, Anything that they put into the graveyard is going to go into our mouths. 3 mana. I really wish I were on the play for this game. That last game, I think if we were on the play, probably could have gotten there. They were a little bit slow as a Kona deck, and yeah, if we just had that one extra turn, who's to say? Okay, fear of missing out is pretty bad against us, but I think we can remove it. I was thinking about not using Orin's Inspiration, but I think this time around it is going to be the Orin's Inspiration. We're going to decline this, and they're going to block, I'm sure. There's the block. Okay, let's get in. We'll remove their fear of missing out. And now Orin's Inspiration is in the graveyard to be a flashback. We'll take the fear of missing out. And they're down to 10. Not a great spot. Maybe next turn, though, the plan is Descendant of the Storms Endure, maybe making a 1/1 spirit, and then flashing out the Resolute Reinforcements on their end step. Try to get in for a little bit of damage. If they don't have Valgavoth's Faithful, pretty good against the opponent, or against us rather, because they can put that in front of this Veteran Survivor and kind of ruin our plan for making or growing this guy. I really would like to eat something, but I don't think I'm brave enough. I think I'm fine attacking him with the Descent of the Storms because I want the Endure. Making a 1/1 is going to be good. Okay, let's see if they decide to keep the Valgavoth's Faithful on the field. They do. Okay. Maybe I should have attacked him with a Veteran Survivor. So our plan is set. If they put in a Valgavoth in the graveyard, we're dead. If they put something with lifelink, we're dead. If it's something without lifelink, maybe we're okay. Ooh, they threw away a swamp, so they don't have any big stuff. Now, this Valgavoth does cost 4 to sacrifice, so they can use the Collector's Vault this turn. They have the treasure token here. Oh, it's a Baelmerk. Okay, they still, they're hoping to hit something. No, no, no. No, it's an Arden. Oh, disaster. Oh, disaster, disaster. All right. So they hit they're going to use the Valgavoth's Faithful, bring back the Arden, and then bring back a Valgavoth's Faithful, which will have, I think, Haste and Lifelink. I'm pretty sure he gives Lifelink, because Menace, Lifelink, and Haste. Why not? But if they attack in, it's possible, like, nah, I don't have enough damage. I'm living in a fantasy land here, thinking I have enough damage to get around this. They're going to take our creature. Sure. And they attack in for 5. I don't have any way of shadow blocking that. Ouch. They're up to 13. Very comfortable 13. And they take my Orin's Inspiration too on top of that. Oh my god, it's just a disaster. Okay. Alright, we'll flash in the Resolute Reinforcements. Of course, opponent, very good heads-up play. Auto pay. +1/+1. Good game. Do they block? Do they block? How much damage? I haven't counted how much damage I have. This Orin's off the top actually represents potentially 10 damage. But probably 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They block the right one. I don't... Oh, maybe it's enough damage? Yes! Yes! So the... The early BM, good game. I thought we were just dead. I actually didn't do the math, and I didn't realize if they would block that one that we would still get the win there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that last one. That was a cool little win there. I don't think it matters how the rest of these games go. Okay, well, this hand looks interesting. We need to not draw another no more planes for the rest of this game, and unfortunately the opponent being on lifelink probably means that we're dead. Rune Lurker Bat for the opponent. We could kill that. Uh, do they trade with the Descendant of the Storms? I don't think so. Well, okay, what we're going to do, we're going to play it safe. We're just going to put a +1/+1 counter on it, sure. Nice and simple. They're going to gain 2 life with their Runelurker Bat this turn, probably with an Ajani's Pridemate. It's okay. We're fine. No, we're not fine. This is disaster. This is a disaster. I played that very wrong. Okay, we'll attack in. Yes, we'll do this one more time. We'll do a 1/1 this time. They're not going to block with the Ajani. What I'm kind of looking at right now is, will I actually be able to kill the Ajani's Pridemate with the Case of the Gateway? The way I was kind of looking at things before was that, no, this game's over. I should have probably not pumped up the Descendant, put out the Resolute Reinforcements. If they had an Ajani's Pridemate, I could have killed it with the Case of the Gateway on the following turn. We can still get rid of it this turn, but it's hard, and unfortunately we have to attack into this Essence Channeler, and that's just not going to go well. Boom, boom, boom. Again, I can do this. It gives me the case. They're going to get my Descendant of the Storm. Is what it is. But I think this is just such an uphill battle. The life gain deck is literally just a better mono-white budget deck. It's just like through and through. Okay. Runelurker Bat, growing the Essence Channeler a little bit more. Attack in with just 1. Okay. Now, we do have the Cheeky House Mouse. We do have 2 Cheeky House Mice. But, again, what is this really doing? We'll put it on that. We'll... Sure. Let's attack. Auto pay. We'll make a 1/1. We'll go through the motions. Anything can happen. We'll put out another Cheeky House Mouse. If they... See, the thing is, they're just gaining 6. They're literally gaining the amount of damage that I used 3 cards to do this turn. And there's the Exemplar of Light. They're going to start drawing cards. So I think it's probably okay to just say that this one is well and truly over. Even with an Orin's intervention, we're not going to get there. Kind of making me think that climbing on a ladder with a budget deck might be a fool's errand. It might be just a +1, -1, +1, -1, 1 step ahead, 1 step back kind of situation. But we'll see. We'll see. We're going to play 7. We're going to hope that we end with a positive win rate right now. 2-2. Descendant of the Storms. We're against Mono Red. Bolt Wave to the face. That's a pretty good thing that you can do. Okay. Honored Knight Captain onto the field. Puts out a friend. And, yeah, why not? Does have an ability. Completely irrelevant to this deck with no equipment cards in it. But still kind of a cool card. It looks cool. It looks rad, right? I like that art on it very much. The opponent using their removal spells on our poor creatures. Okay, well, okay. We need to not draw any more lands. Please, no more lands. Get in for 3, down to 15. We're at 14. We do have the Rec Raid to be able to pump up a team once we get a pretty wide board. But I think that might not be happening. Oh, they have Boros mana, but they took 2 damage. 2 damage is massive for us. Oh my god, what a disaster. Talk about a card that just like counters our deck. They get in for 4, they ping one of our things. On turn 5, they'll be able to do the same thing, and we're done. No more. Oh, come on. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so much. They have the Slick Shot, and do they have a way of pumping it? They don't. Really? Really? And now, if only I had a Descendant of the Storms on the field, at the very least, I could be pumping all of this garbage mana into something. But instead, I'm sitting here hitting for 2 and just playing out tons of land. I'd be real rich in the real world if I had all these properties. unfortunately, my Magic life is the exact opposite of my real life. All the land, none of the land. Yay! Isn't that the story of a lot of us? And our opponent, they stuck on 3 lands. They do not find another land, but they find the card that is absolutely devastating to us. What can I do here? Orin's Inspiration, pretty good card, but am I really going to swing in and trade both of my only creatures for the Screaming Nemesis? Like, I don't know. Well, we're dead, right? We're dead? What does it matter? That card, Screaming Nemesis, is more value in that singular copy of Screaming Nemesis than there is in our entire deck. And I think when you're playing a budget deck, that's the reality that you have to face. Oh, but they go in for damage. They might just have us dead here. I'm not going to block. If they have me dead, they have me dead. I can't block the Nemesis. It would kill both of my creatures. The only hope that I have is that I can get in with these 2 things. And of course, they have 10 damage. That is what they're doing. So if you are playing budget, but you won't have a few... no, it's a lot more than a few rares. All right, 2 and 3. So we need to win the next 2 to hold on to a positive win rate with this very ambitious, hopeful deck. Okay, the hand looks okay. Again, 3 planes are all we want. It's possible that we need to go down a couple of planes. We are playing 22. 22 might be a little bit high considering what's in the deck, but we are playing some 3 CMC stuff. And we are against control again. All right. I could recreate it later on, but right now there's no point. We'll just let them gain 2 life. So the damage that the poor veteran survivor put in is being undone by the Authority of the Consuls, a card that is extraordinarily powerful. Our opponent is probably on artifacts, meaning that they have Starcage, but they also have spring-loaded Saw Blades, which they're going to be using to blast my poor veteran survivor. You know what? I think we're not going to win this game, assuming that they don't have, or by being afraid of the Starcage. We have to make the assumption that they do not have the Starcage. That Saw Blade was an indication of I don't have a Saw Blade. I'm scared. I'm just going to play out the Saw Blade to reduce a little bit of damage. Nope, they just decided that taking out a 1/1 on turn 2 was valuable enough to use a Saw Blade because they have Saw Blades in spades, and that's what's happening here. Thankfully, we do have this and this, so this is actually kind of cool. Kind of cool. We get to destroy that. We get to destroy that. Our stuff is going to come in tapped because of the way the order works. And they're going to get a couple of triggers. They don't get all the triggers, thankfully, because our Honored Knight Captain hasn't made the baby yet. But they get... It's such horse show. I hate this stupid game. Destroy artifact, then destroy enchantment. Of course, it has to resolve in that order. But we did get our knight back. Fantastic. And a United Battlefront to end all of our hopes and dreams. All right. Perilous Snare, sure. Well, they take the right one for us. If they're going to take one of the creatures, that's the one that we want them to take. But I'm not going to suffer through this. There's no way. I'm pretty defeated right now. I'll be perfectly honest. I did play this deck beforehand, and hey, look who finally showed up. I played this deck in Mythic, and I think the problem with doing that is that actually Mythic is less competitive than Platinum, which is crazy, right? But that's actually the case. So instead of running into your finest tuned decks, that's bad. Whatever. This is another it's over type game. I don't even know. Instead of running into like people trying to do other stuff and playing with weird stuff, you kind of just run into you're perfectly net deck stuff. And what I'm realizing now is that the power level of standard is so outrageously overtuned that I don't think budget decks can actually have any kind of hope of doing anything against what is available to people in standard. So you kind of just gotta nut up and yeah, you gotta play. You gotta craft your mythics and your rares. I think all of these are way too powerful. That one, thankfully, isn't uncommon, but something like a Teamer Battlecryer, more value in this card or in this Trailblazer than we got in all of our cards. 2/1s are not going to cut it. All right, we'll let the opponent do a couple of stuff, but we're dead, especially since this draw is not great. We do get to put out the Pack Beast on the next turn. Sure. Wizards of the Coast has come into this video and they've said, you right there, you spend money, open packs, do not play budget, you fool. You have no hope. So they just have us dead on board, right? We block the Vestige, we block what are the 4s, and they actually have more damage. Oh, they all get trample. Sure, this gives trample as well. Yeah, of course it does. Haste and trample. Yeah. All right, if I wanted to do the effort of remaking my intro, I would have different things to say in that intro. But now taking this deck through a number of games, man, I had so much hope for it. I genuinely thought that maybe we could get some wins. But I think the wins that we might get are just those lucky wins. And in the end, for the most part, we're just going to get run over by the entire meta. So if you're looking at this deck and you've made it to this point in the video, what you should be doing actually is heading up to this button up here. And you should be hitting this button and opening as many packs as you possibly can. Because that's the only way Daddy Marrow, Mark Marrow, will allow you to play the game. Let's see what kind of trash we open. Hey, that's okay. The Reclaimer, not bad. Fine. Starwinder, a card a lot of people want to be good, but probably isn't. A land that nobody cares about, and another land that's okay. Well, those are not going to help me win on the ladder. Too bad. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.